You've got mail.
Hi there. I came across this weird account, and it seems like barely anyone is talking about it. It's pretty disturbing, so fair warning. It's this girl named Anna, or AnacondaSin on TikTok. You might actually recognize her from that old Minecon video that went viral a few years back. You know, the girl with her dad's business cards.
Would you like to join my dad's Minecraft server, Mineforge?
It's crazy how she went from that to what she's doing now, honestly. She's been resurfacing and telling these crazy, disgusting stories. Like I saw once on a live stream where she talked about her weird desires about animals, and it's really gross.
If that's something that you're into and you're like alone in the woods and it's just a deal, like imagine the glorification of being able to hang those antlers on the wall knowing that you had that intimacy with it.
At first I thought it was just some elaborate attention-seeking thing or maybe rage bait or something, but I think there might be some actual truth to it based on some of the stuff she says. She's like openly admitting to participating in something I don't even want to really describe with a dog.
I didn't want to do it either. It was weird. Like, and that's a little too far. Like,
you're just sitting here talking about wanting to do it, and like you're just saying you didn't do it.
It doesn't matter if your eyes is closed.
The more I looked, the worse it got. She makes these twisted claims about how when she was a kid, she used to do these horrible things to her sister's pets, like involving wood and nails, all for her own curiosity, I guess.
I fed my sister's guinea pigs to the dog because I wanted to see them get eaten by my dog.
She even went as far as openly telling people about how she was romantically interested in her own dad.
It's really embarrassing when you touch your dad thinking he's somewhat of a man. He was wearing like a button-up shirt and all that, and then I started trying to make out with my dad.
It's all pretty scary and concerning.
To be attracted to an individual that you know is like not 18, that doesn't make me a bad person, does it? They don't hurt nobody. They have special relationships with children.
I really can't tell if this is an elaborate hoax for attention, a real person, or both. I thought you might be interested in taking a look and trying to debunk it a bit. Could be nothing, really, but who knows? Anyways, thanks for reading. If there's nothing to this story, disregard this email. Take care. Bye.
Goodbye.
If you're like me and billions of others, you may have heard of a peculiar little app known as TikTok. From cute animal clips that can bring a smile to those experiencing the worst of days, useful cooking tutorials that can get you through a pinch on a budget, clever comedy sketches that highlight something so nichely relatable to each of our own lives, makeup tutorials, mom and pop businesses, so on and so forth, TikTok is home to so many unique forms of content curated to each user's interests. However, as I'm sure you either know or are expecting given that you've clicked on this video, TikTok is far from an innocent app. And lurking within is a dark side to the platform, ridden with controversies and horrific dramas that have plagued the website since its conception. Hidden within plain sight among the search feeds of millions, users have uncovered nightmarish creators, ranging from actual criminals who prey upon the innocent as a source of pride, disturbing individuals with a twisted past who have placed into the world a slew of dark intentions, Minecraft cosplayers who have a fear of the number 18, and many more volatile monsters that would drag this summary on for quite some time. TikTok is home to some of the worst creatures to ever surface online. And with our character of interest today, we will add yet another entry to the ever-growing list of reprehensible individuals found on the platform. You may inadvertently know of this individual and not even be aware, as their initial popularity could only be attributed to a 34-second clip from almost 10 years ago. But times have changed, and they have most certainly changed for the worse. So, allow me to either introduce or reintroduce you to Anna, aka AnacondaSin, a highly questionable TikToker whose twisted claims managed to fly under the radar for years, leaving me fearful that an in-depth documentation of this person might not be possible. But unfortunately, here we are. Platformed once by their now deleted TikTok account by the same name, AnacondaSin is, fingers crossed, was an online creator that swept through users' feeds via countless reposts after participating in a TikTok dating show back in 2021. It was here where they turned a harmless livestream into a front row seat to a disturbing confession, where they revealed their disconnected view of the world, as well as their alleged participation in a sickening crime against a defenseless dog with their ex-partner. Afterwards, she quickly gained an online following from users who were eager to learn more about her, leading to those curious enough to uncovering numerous other clips made by Anna, including further confessions of alleged nauseating desires and acts against innocent animals, her belief that crimes shouldn't matter if nobody's around to witness them, an apology video posted after users sent officers to her home where they failed to take accountability and instead downplayed everything into merely being a poorly received sense of humor, a questionable attempt at a music career that fell flat at blatant racism, their claims of attraction towards their father, and much more that we will touch base on in due time. To put it lightly, the story of AnacondaSin is one of disbelief, disturbance, and quite frankly injustice if the crimes they have claimed to committed are indeed true, which I will carefully detail my reasons for concluding that, in my own belief, they are. But before we jump right into this bewildering story, if you allowed me to briefly introduce myself, I would be ever so grateful. Hi, I'm Wonder, your one-stop shop for calm deep dives on some of the internet's most unsavory individuals around. I upload a new deep dive on a bi-weekly to tri-weekly basis, so if you find you enjoy what you see here today in terms of production itself, feel free to leave me a like and subscribe with the bell notification on so you never miss out on a new story in the future, as well as yours truly. Also feel free to let me know down in the comments what you did or didn't like about today's video so I can work towards providing you a better viewing experience in the future. I'd also like to give a shout out to the individual on screen, known as Underflow, for shedding light on this situation. They were the first creator I have seen cover today's person of interest, so I cannot express enough how much credit rightfully goes to them for this story. A link to their channel can be found in the description. There is also a really big chance that this video could get yoinked, so consider checking my Patreon out down below if you get the chance, because it helps the channel out a ton, but of course no pressure there. Without further ado, once more, my name is Wonder and it is phenomenal to have you here today. Say hi to my first ever editor, Zach Fuller, couldn't have done this video without him, and sit back. Relax. If you have pets, tell them how much you love and appreciate them. If you have a dad, try to avoid eye contact for a while, and let's dive right into the story of AnacondaSin, TikTok's creepiest animal lover.
It's not illegal to fantasize about dogs. You can dream about them all night long. It's not illegal to be attracted to them.
Before we can begin to explore the full details surrounding their story, we have to ask ourselves two very pivotal questions. Who is AnacondaSin, and where did she even come from? Important questions to ask, yes, but unfortunate ones to answer. AnacondaSin, or as we will often refer to as her first name, Anna, first appeared online on November 3rd, 2013, after a channel by the name Connor Quinn uploaded a video of the final day of Minecon 2013. There was a Q&A held for developers where fans of the popular survival craft were given a chance to ask any questions they may have either for the dev team directly or about the future of the game. However, this open mic night did not go as smoothly as intended, which is evident from some awkward yet rather heartwarming clips that went viral after the fact.
I was wondering, what's the recommended amount of dedicated RAM I should have to the server?
Did your friends really hold you hostage?
So I have a friend with Crohn's disease, and she was ready to give up.
What?
Why do you do what you do? Like, what's your purpose in doing that?
I ask myself this question every day. Among all the innocent cringeworthy clips that arose from the Minecon 2013 convention, there was one moment in particular that stood out enough to become iconic within itself. No, it's not this clip.
Dedicated RAM?
It was actually this one when a nervous child with a shaky voice walked up to their idols with business cards in hand and stumbled over their words in an effort to promote their father's Minecraft server.
Would you like to join my dad's Minecraft server, Forgecraft? I've got business cards here if you would like to join.
Join his Minecraft what?
Minecraft, mineforgecraft.com. He's had it up for a few years, I think now, and he's got really good staff, and I was wondering if you would like to maybe join it.
This shy child, as I'm sure you can guess, especially due to the reusage of B-roll footage, is none other than AnacondaSin. Over the next few months, this clip would be featured on numerous cringe compilations and reaction channels, even ending up in front of the likes of PewDiePie, where he stated he'd gladly join her father's server.
I'll join! I'll gladly join!
Despite this clip receiving unfortunately expected backlash due to the cruelty of the internet, it was genuinely a harmless moment and was, what everyone with a conscience believed, to merely be a child having an awkward moment in front of their idols whilst trying to support their father. After a few more months had passed, this clip as well as Anna herself would fade back into obscurity within the online space. Anna, to the best of my knowledge, was not a creator at this time, nor did she have a real online presence aside from the inadvertent 15 minutes of fame. After the termination of their father's Minecraft server, a personal choice due to the harassment campaigns placed against them by malicious internet users set out on harassing her over the viral clip, Anna's online presence would soon grow cold. Or at least it seemed that way. However, after roughly 7 to 8 years, the earliest date we can go off of being fall of 2018 when TikTok was released to the States, Anna would begin to surface online again within their own niche corner of the internet. Anna would also upload a variety of content, seemingly uninterested in having their channel take upon one sense of direction, encapsulating what could only be summarized as an insight into a person's world to whoever would listen, rather than an intentional creator. The only specific content direction of Anna's that can be attributed to her was a questionable attempt at a music career, consisting of 2 known songs that would genuinely make an unprepared listener feel as if they had had a blood vessel erupt in their head. Now I must admit, aside from the blatantly racist song they have produced called "Have You Ever Been Popped and Dumped by a," which contains the N-word a whopping 6 times within just a minute and 15 seconds, I find that their song, It Was Too Good to Be True, a country music video, to be a real heartfelt piece.
It felt so right the moment that you kissed me, held me in your arms.
I often ask myself, what happened to all the good music? But now after listening to this, I realize it never left. Also, some fun trivia that I didn't realize initially, but the incredibly racist song was actually supposed to be a Christmas song too. So, Merry Christmas, I guess. Anna got you stereotypes this year. Hooray, I guess. As to when exactly AnacondaSin went from a former online punching bag to a worldwide music sensation that made users question their sanity is unclear. But what we do know is that on August 16th, 2021, a short 1-minute video was posted online of popular streamer XQC reacting to what I found to be one of the first documented instances of Anna's questionable behavior to arise from her TikTok account. In this clip, XQC is reacting over someone else's content per usual, as they come to the realization that the user in the featured TikTok is in fact the same individual that appeared on that iconic Minecon Q&A all those years ago. The TikTok in question that is being reviewed with such disappointment from Mr. What Is a Sit-Up is one where Anna awkwardly says in a breathy manner that they are unsure if they are either hungry or very excited. Now one could say that, well, yes. The clip that Anna provided to TikTok about their dilemma regarding whether they were either hungry or excited is indeed odd. It doesn't particularly warn anything of an alarming nature. However, 2021 was quite some time ago. And unfortunately, a few years later, when the opportunity for Anna to partake as a contestant on a TikTok dating show presented itself, Anna would be eager to show the world the exact type of person they had become over the years, or as could best be described, who they have claimed to have been the whole time. A twisted individual with a sick disconnection from the world, morality, and living beings. For the host and unfortunate contestant who had been paired alongside Anna, this would be a night that would stick with them for a very long time. And this was only the beginning.
Oh, that reminds me of a story. There was this guy that was a hunter, that would unalive deer, and then he would, do it with them. If no one else was around and no one was around to see it, and you're alone in the woods, and who cares? It's like my ex-boyfriend who was 45 and wanted me to have with his dog, but I didn't do it.
I don't believe that.
He did it with his dog. It doesn't count if your eyes are closed.
Welcome to the 21st century. The future's grim, and we're about to explore why. in the later months of October or November of 2023. A TikToker whose name I could not locate due to the scarcity of this clip and lack of watermark decided to host an entertaining dating show for his viewers one night, as well as to hopefully bring two users who'd click well together as a match. As the evening and matches continued, our unnamed host invited his next two guests onto the show's live feed, unaware of just how painful the next several minutes would be. Before him sat the contestants Sparklefart, as well as AnacondaSin. Now, while we don't have the entirety of this livestream, it would be assumed that the two users introduced grew acquainted with each other as well as the host, before discussing their interest to see if sparks would potentially fly. However, when one of the most common questions that can be asked when getting to know someone was presented, that question being, what kind of movies do you like? Otto was quick to turn the situation from an innocent livestream to that of relentless moments of disgust and discomfort for everyone involved. If you would like to partake, I'd like for us to review together one of the most uncomfortable few minutes of a livestream that I have ever personally seen online. A trigger warning beforehand. There will be discussions of bewildering acts, animal cruelty, and criminal acts involving animals. With that said, let's take a look at this train wreck together.
I mean, isn't that what it means when you said, like, people get excited by horror movies? Like,
I never said anyone was excited by horror movies. I just said that I like them.
Right? Like, it gets you going, right?
No.
What do you feel then when you watch them? Like, then what was the point of you watching it then?
To not be bored.
Well, there was that whole trend. You guys remember that trend where like everyone was doing like the ghost face mask thing, and girls were into that? I mean, it's kind of the same thing.
Oh, you mean Scream? That's a really good movie.
Yeah. The girls were doing that like transition with like the ghost face mask, and everyone was really into it.
Yeah. I had an ex-boyfriend dress up like him, and I sucked his. It was awesome.
I need emotional support teddy bear for this.
You okay?
How did that work? Like,
now she thinks I'm a freak, and now she thinks I'm weird, and now she thinks I'm a scary, horrible person now.
Do you think those things sparkle?
I'm just trying to figure out if she's serious or not.
No, I really am serious.
Part? She kind of is.
Like, have you ever, like, you've never been excited by, like, watching the animals, like, kill each other and eat each other as an 9-year-old? Like, that's never happened to you when you watch a Discovery Channel?
No, I feel sad.
But, like, it's so much entertainment, and it's, like freaking awesome. Like, to watch that go down, dude. Like, oh my god.
I feel like...
Wouldn't you love to be that lioness, though? You know, getting after that zebra, like, you know. Oh, that reminds me of a story. There was this guy that was a hunter that would unalive deer, and then he would you know, do it with them after he unalived them deer. And I'm like, okay, you know, if no one else was around and no one was around to see it, and you're alone in the woods, and who cares? I mean, it's already unalived at that point. I mean, it's a deer, at least it's not a person, you know?
No, wait, no. I mean, what?
I mean, if that's something that you're into and you're like alone in the woods and it's just a deal, as long as you're not doing it to people, you know, right? And it's already unalived, and you were gonna like eat it later, like you were gonna it and eat it, so you're gonna eat its deer meat and stuff like that. And hang, like, imagine the glorification of being able to hang those antlers on the wall, knowing that you had that intimacy with it, as well as being able to eat its meat and being able to harvest its skin and being able to make a jacket out of it. Like, that would be awesome. Like, to be able to wear that stuff and have the deer on the wall. I think it would be more awesome if I could be like a guy and have done that, because that would be like freaking cool, you know. And I could be like a deer hunter, you know, and then like I could like eat their meat, put the stuff on the walls, and then in the woods I could like unalive them, and then I can like have a little fun with them, you know.
I think all my squishmallows need therapy.
Wait, what?
You know that's illegal, right?
That's why it has to be done when no one else is around. That's why it has to be done. That's why some people do it and they just never tell anyone. Duh.
I can't say for sure, but I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say that perhaps you have the same train of thought that I have when I first initially watched this clip. That being, what the f did I just watch? Where do we even begin with this? As we saw, the livestream starts with the cutoff of a question from Anna, presumably due to someone scrambling to screen record their phone due to whatever insanity was most likely uttered beforehand. What can be made out is Anna asking, I mean, isn't that what it means when said people get excited by horror movies?
I mean, isn't that what it means when you said, like, people get excited by horror movies? Like,
visibly, both the host as well as Sparkle are seemingly caught off guard by this unexpected direction of conversation, resulting in Sparkle stating that they never said that scary movies excited them in such a way, and that what they meant when they said they liked the genre was that they really just meant that they just enjoyed scary movies. Confused, Anna persists that Sparkle must mean that this genre of film gets them going. Again, Sparkle firmly states that no, this is not the case.
I never said anyone was excited by horror movies. I just said that I like them.
Right? Like, it gets you going, right?
No.
Like, then what was the point of you watching it then?
To not be bored.
The infamous AnacondaSin was dumbfounded by this response and asked Sparkle what other reason could one have for watching scary movies, to which Sparkle reminds Miss Sins that some people just watch movies for entertainment value. Who could have known? Doing what they could do to try to bring the conversation back down to a level of understanding, the host tried to find mutual ground by mentioning a popular trend that had gone viral on TikTok for some time regarding the popular scary movie icon Ghostface, a steamy take on the character, and how people found that trend to be attractive. Anna, perhaps feeling a little too understood in that moment, makes the situation even more awkward by revealing that not only were they aware of this trend and that they also found this to be exciting, but that their ex-boyfriend had dressed up as this character so that they could perform an act on them.
Well, there was that whole trend. You guys remember that trend where like everyone was doing like the ghost face mask thing and girls were into that?
Yeah. I had an ex-boyfriend dress up like him and I sucked his... It was awesome.
Not to get sidetracked, but I have to say that that is just such a wild double down. To very clearly say something that makes everyone in the room uncomfortable, only for someone to be kind enough to give you an exit from your mistake by saying something along the lines of, oh, so what you meant to say was actually this, right? It's not that weird what you're saying, you're just being a little misunderstood. And you take that get out of jail free card and you wipe your cheeks with it. You have known these people for minutes at best. As the host and Sparkle remain in disbelief, it begins to dawn on Anna that she has professionally fumbled the bag, leading to her attempts at backtracking what she has said, stating that they believe their words had caused Sparkle to view them as a freak, weird, as well as a, quote, scary, horrible person now.
Now she thinks I'm a freak, and now she thinks I'm weird, and now she thinks I'm a scary, horrible person now.
You would think that this realization would cause one to self-reflect a little and think before they speak further, especially when it is taken into account that they are fearful of having others perceive them in a negative light. Instead, Anna decides to lie in the bed they made and continue with their unprompted bizarre interests. After a long moment of silence and being laughed at, Anna switches the conversation from scary movies to animals. Anna asks Sparkle if they have ever been interested in predator versus prey situations such as those found in nature documentaries. In particular, the consumption of the animal after it has been taken down, questioning Sparkle if they have ever had an attraction towards such subjects when watching the Discovery Channel. Given that most people, I would argue, don't feel particularly bricked up when watching Animal Planet, Sparkle answers this question coherently by saying that they do not feel such an awful attraction and instead they just feel sad. Disappointed by this answer, Anna tries to convince Sparkle of this idea by stating that such content is, quote, freaking awesome to watch go down, sounding far too excited when saying this.
But like, it's so much entertainment, it's like freaking awesome, like, to watch that go down, dude. Like, oh my god.
When Sparkle tries to speak again, Anna rudely cuts them off by inquiring if they would love to be a lioness in the wild, hunting down zebras. Or, sorry, my apologies, as they say, getting after that zebra.
I feel like
wouldn't you love to be that lioness though? Getting after that zebra, like.
With the spotlight now theirs, due to the intense awkward silence, it gives Anna the time to remember a disturbing story that I guarantee nobody wanted to hear. As the legend goes, Anna says there once was a hunter who would unalive deer and, quote, you know, do it with them.
Oh, that reminds me of a story. There was this guy that was a hunter that would unalive deer, and then he would, you know, do it with them.
I must have missed that one at bedtime when I was a kid because I don't know about you, but I don't remember the lullaby about the deranged deer f***er. Sorry, that's my bad. The, deer lover. What is even more disturbing than this very dark story from Anna is the insight she provides afterwards regarding her mentality surrounding such actions, citing that what they took away from the story about the deer hunter is that if you are in the woods alone and nobody is around to see you commit such deplorable, biologically incorrect actions, then who should care because at that point, the deer is no longer alive.
You know, if no one else was around and no one was around to see it and you're alone in the woods, who cares? I mean, it's already unalived at that point.
Voila, I hope you would care, Anna. I mean, Jesus H. Christ, full government name and all. You're claiming to see unalive deer and your first thought is, man, look at there's some free cheeks right there. I'm from the deep south where people literally go on like second dates with their cousin and stuff. You know, you got mom and dads being brothers and sisters around here. And even that is like just such a new wild concept to me. The fact that for Anna, as she claims here, morality ceases to exist when behind closed doors is quite an alarming way of thinking. It's quite scary to hear people like this who genuinely do not understand why bad things are bad just because nobody is watching. There has to be, in my opinion, something so fundamentally broken within someone if you have to explain to them why desecrating a deer with intimate acts is a rather frowned upon thing to do. When everyone on the live stream, presumably chat included, are having all of their brain cells work overtime to process such information, Anna tries to lighten the severity of their mindset by pointing out the fact that it's just a deer and at least it's not a person.
You know, if no one else was around and no one was around to see it and you're alone in the woods, who cares? I mean, it's already unalived at that point. I mean, it's a deer, at least it's not a person, you know?
No, wait, no. I mean, what?
I mean, if that's something that you're into and you're like alone in the woods and it's just a deer, as long as you're not doing it to people.
Okay, yeah, that's great and all. Glad you're not outwardly advocating for human beings to fall victim to such a situation. But it doesn't diminish how out of touch with reality that way of thinking is, regardless if it was a human being or not. You just don't do this. Proceeding their arguments as to why this fantasy of theirs is ideal, AnacondaSin discusses how they can imagine hanging the antlers of said hypothetical deer on their wall, and how being able to look at them while knowing they had intimacy at one point with this animal would be exciting. Stating how being able to eat, skin, and wear the deer like a jacket would be awesome.
Like, imagine the glorification of being able to hang those antlers on the wall, knowing that you had that intimacy with it, as well as being able to eat its meat. In the woods, I could, like, unalive them, and then I can, like, have a little fun with them, you know?
I want to state that my shock from this statement is not for me trying to insult hunters, or lump those who hunt for food with what Anna was saying here, as that is a practice as old as time. What I am trying to point out is for us to recognize that these desires of Anna's aren't towards the appreciation and gratitude that the life of an animal was able to provide, that being food and clothes, but rather as a sick form of attraction towards an animal that has been horrifically violated. Raining on their parade, the host reminds AnacondaSin that such actions are actually illegal, to which she, once again, doubles down on the idea that crimes are morally okay if not committed around any witnesses, citing that plenty of people get away with this kind of thing and just don't get caught.
You know that's illegal, right?
That's why it has to be done when no one else is around. That's why it has to be done. That's why some people do it and they just never tell anyone. Duh.
What I want to know is how they are so familiar with the types of people who do and don't get away with this. How do you know if these people didn't get caught? Do you just have an inner circle of deer lovers who trade these stories every Wednesday with each other like some sort of up book club? That's oddly specific information to know. Moving forward as a class, we have another half to this clip that I am eager for us to review and discuss. The following clip will contain Anna admitting to an alleged crime that breached the line of sick fantasy into reality, in which she claims she had a shared illegal interaction with a middle-aged ex-partner and a terrified dog, to which I might remind you, dogs cannot consent. I would hope I wouldn't have to remind you of that, but it's out there just in case. In another clip that we will watch later on, after Anna alleged that she had been visited by the police, Anna tries to claim that what we're about to hear is merely dark humor that's being taken out of context. However, I'll let you be the judge down below in the comments. Let's take a look at what the infamous AnacondaSin has to say.
It's like my ex-boyfriend who was 45 and wanted me to have with his dog, but I didn't do it. And he told me he didn't do it with his dog.
I don't believe that.
He did it with his dog.
No, I think you did it with the dog after this conversation.
I never did it with the dog. No, I never did it. Because the dog was scared of me and did not want to do it. He would put the dog on me and the dog would go off.
Scared because you were trying to it.
Yeah. I didn't want to do it either. It was weird. Like, that's a little too far. Like,
you're just sitting here talking about wanting to do it, and like you're just saying you didn't do it, but I think you did it.
It doesn't count if your eyes are closed.
I need therapy.
It doesn't matter if your eyes is closed. If your eyes is closed, you can just think it. You can just imagine it's a man with a giant. Every dog has a different size. Oh.
Okay, let's review our notes here. As we saw, Anna, on a streak of bringing up topics that no normal person would ever want to hear about, says that the story of the deer hunter had actually made them recall an instance where their ex-boyfriend, who she claims to be was a 45-year-old man at the time, had wanted her to have a sexual interaction with a dog, but how they did not want to do this as it would be going too far. Sparkle, cautiously not buying into their version of events, asserts that they believe that Anna most likely participated in the alleged crime more than they were willing to admit. Anna quickly reassures Sparkle that the 45-year-old ex-boyfriend went on to commit the deplorable acts instead, but that they personally did not participate in the crime directly. She claims that her ex-boyfriend had attempted to put the dog on top of her, but that the dog was scared, so for this reason she did not partake.
No, I think you did it with the dog after this conversation.
I never did it with the dog. No, I never did it. Because the dog was scared of me and did not want to do it. He would put the dog on me and the dog would go off.
Scared because you were trying to it.
I do have to ask though, would the outcome of this encounter be different if the dog wasn't scared? You're not saying that you didn't do it because it was a dog. You're saying that you didn't do it because it was fearful. There's a very big difference there, and that's still not a good rationale at all. And even if Anna's version of events were true, which we have no way of knowing what actually took place, if anything at all, if you didn't commit the crime, but you just stood around in the room while a defenseless animal was helplessly traumatized by the very people they rely on for food and shelter, then you are equally as liable. According to you, you didn't do anything, Anna, when you had the chance. You could have, at any time, chose to stop the interaction and report this individual to the authorities, but you chose not to, allegedly. But yeah, bravo for you, I guess. One reason out of many I will discuss regarding the authenticity of this alleged interaction, as well as others, is that it doesn't come off as a joke. Anna seemed almost defensive at the fact that Sparkle would assume that they were lying about the extent of their participation in this alleged crime. If this was truly a dark-humored joke, I'd argue one would go all in without fear of being seen in a poor light by others. Much like how Anna was worried that they had freaked Sparkle out by discussing their interests prior, I have to wonder why someone who claims their intent was to provide shocking words to get a rise out of others would want to clarify specific details to seemingly backtrack or downplay what they've said. In my eyes, that would defeat the purpose of their humor, would it not? Having their doubts noticeably written across their face, Sparkle once more accuses Anna of being the one to have actually committed this crime against the dog in question. To which eerily, Anna has a long pause before breaking into laughter where she says that, and I quote, "It doesn't count if your eyes are closed," reiterating that not only does this crime not count if your eyes are closed, but adding on that you can just imagine that the dog is a man with a giant yeah, and that every dog has their own unique size.
It doesn't count if your eyes are closed. It doesn't matter if your eyes is closed. If your eyes is closed, you can just think it. You can just imagine it's a man with a giant. Every dog has a different size.
Are you speaking from experience? Nope, not how that works in the slightest. Closing your eyes doesn't make a difference. If that was supposed to be a joke, given that she is barely able to contain her excitement over there, then color me stupid because the punchline went right over my head. Now that we've finished our analysis of this TikTok dating show turned nightmare, I have some good news and some bad news. The good news is that we have finished watching those 5 minutes of hell. You were very brave and I very much commend you. The bad news though, is that we still have more to get through before we can say that the story of AnacondaSin has fully been told. Don't worry, from here on out it's nothing super unsettling. Just more admissions of horrific acts committed against animals spanning all the way back to the early years of their childhood, some of which were even her sister's beloved pets, but were met with a terrible fate due to Anna's curiosity, an apology, and a detailed confession regarding their attempts at pursuing their father with romantic intentions. You cannot make this up. Oh, quick question for you by the way. What does a common house rat and Jesus Christ have in common? Well, unfortunately, you're about to find out.
You're proud of that?
That's incredibly fucked.
You should not be proud.
I fed my sister's guinea pigs to the dog. That's what I did when I was 7 years old. Because I wanted to see them get eaten by my dog.
Oh my gosh, I'm feeling a little sleepy. That's why I drink. I'm just kidding, we don't have sponsors. Welcome back, great to have you here. From what I could find in terms of chronological order and from Underflow's video covering the situation, over the coming weeks to a few months, Anna had begun to attain somewhat of a following on her TikTok account after her disturbing performance as a dating show contestant started to circulate through users' feeds, either from direct uploads or duet reactions from concerned individuals. People were understandably curious to know more about Anna post-dating show nightmare, especially once the connection had been made that she was the same girl from the iconic Minecraft clip from over 10 years prior. She was, for lack of better terms, quite the enigma to the public eye. As the eager eyes of viewers on her TikTok account began to grow by the day, Anna was more than happy to allow the world more insight into their life, as well as their personal beliefs to all who were curious. And as you can imagine by now, what she would openly admit to the world via live streams and Discord interviews was reasonable cause for alarm to say the least. And the clip you and I are about to watch together, AnacondaSin is hosting a TikTok live stream to her audience where, as it would seem, viewers are asking her questions regarding her thoughts around animals. The viewers, as you will hear in just a moment, are audibly disgusted by what they are listening to. And when Anna goes on to discuss what they used to do to defenseless rats, as well as their sister's guinea pigs, the conversation only grows more sickening. Let's go ahead together and take a peek at this clip, and again, a trigger warning for animal abuse or anyone who may need it. Let's watch.
You're proud of that?
That's incredibly fucked.
Wife. So you should not be proud.
I fed my sister's guinea pigs to the dog.
What the?
That's not a flex, bro.
That's what I did when I was 7 years old. Because I wanted to see them get eaten by my dog.
Why would you even say this, dude?
Because it's what I did. I used to shake the rats' cages and torture them, hang them on nails and stuff like that.
But that's who you were in the past.
That's insane. You need help, like for real.
But that's when I was like 8 years old though.
As we saw, this clip begins with an audible cut in audio, presumably from someone attempting to screen record and nothing malicious, where a few voices of in-call users can be heard in shock, asking Anna if she is proud of the acts that she had claimed to have committed. Anna responds to the question by claiming how when they were 7 years old, they had intentionally fed their sister's pet guinea pigs to their dog out of curiosity, citing how their motive was wanting to see what it looked like for them to be eaten. When asked by one of the members in the call why she would even say such a deplorable thing, Anna takes ownership of her claims by stating, "Because it's what I did."
I
child.
I fed my sister's guinea pigs to the dog. That's what I did when I was 7 years old. Because I wanted to see them get eaten by my dog.
She then follows this with the horrifying reveal that she also used to shake rats in cages as a means to torment them. And when she was done, she would take said rats and nail them to wood, leaving them to hang. All of these sick, horrendous actions, all while claiming to have only been 7 to 8 years old at the time. Obviously, the audience picks up on how deranged this claim is to make and tells Anna that she needs to seek professional help for these patterns. Anna simply brushes off this suggestion by telling everyone that what she did doesn't matter anymore because it's something she did when she was 7 to 8 years old, which I would personally disagree with because her present-day actions show no signs of change. They may not play biblically accurate Roman Empire to rats anymore, but they still have fantasies such as having an exciting time with a deer in the woods, and also claim that they were complicit in an alleged crime committed against a helpless dog. Preceding this live stream, Anna was quick to receive further backlash from those who were outraged by their claims surrounding animals. However, Anna didn't seem to mind the hate and must have felt untouchable during this time. That was at least, until users online found Anna's address and notified the police in her county of what she had been claiming to do to animals behind the scenes. The police, now most likely flooded with claims of an animal abuser in their area, presumably followed by the live stream clips we've watched here together, were unfortunately in a situation where they had their hands tied. They couldn't arrest Anna because the crime she had claimed to have committed held no evidence, and it also isn't a crime to be a degenerate online. However, according to Anna herself in her apology we are about to watch, this didn't prevent an officer from visiting her and her father at their home. This alone would make anyone feel like their security of online anonymity had instantly been revoked. Now facing the reality of the Pandora's box that she had opened up into the unforgiving landscape of the internet, Anna was quick to publish an apology video, if you can even call it that, as a failed attempt to take accountability for their actions. In reality, what this apology is an incredibly deflective plea to have users stop calling the police in their town, telling them every single vile thing they utter online. I would hate to be the officer that, on payroll, has to sit down and watch a clip of someone describing how much they really would love to have alone time with a deer in the woods. I would honestly probably put in my 2 weeks. You and I, let's take a look at this apology together. Afterwards, we will break down why this entire apology is weaker than wet paper before moving on to a Discord interview where Anna confesses to listeners the disturbing ways she has tried to win her father's affection. It's pretty awful stuff, but first things first, let's roll the terrible apology.
Okay, so I need to apologize and say my joke on the wine show went too far. Sorry people took actual offense to it and they think that I actually did those things. People that actually know me in real life know that I can't even drive. They know that I can't, they know me, right? But calling in the police department 1,200 times and delaying their calls and they're trying to save lives and things. You're taking that away from people that actually do need it. It's a freedom of speech. There was nothing illegal. That's what my dad has told me and the officer has told him. So if you could not call in and distract them from doing those things, that would be great. It's just, yeah, that'd be great.
Well, I will be damned. That has to be one of the worst apologies that TikTok has ever seen. Anna didn't even try to hide how little they cared. Solely self-preservation here. It's quite remarkable, actually. As we saw in her federally mandated apology, Anna claims that they truly need to apologize because their joke on the live show had caused a stir amongst viewers and that it wasn't their intention to actually offend anyone, nor to be taken seriously. Preceding this, Anna says that there are people in her real life that know who she truly is as a person, clarifying she can't even drive a car yet. Which I have no idea why that matters, but I guess we now know. I suppose that is a breath of fresh air though for all the dogs, rats, and deer that are beyond walking distance of her home. Anna then says that calling the police on her solves nothing, and that those who took it upon themselves to call the authorities in her area should recognize that their actions put other people's lives at risk by taking the authorities' attention away from real emergencies like saving lives.
But calling in the police department 1,200 times and delaying their calls, they're trying to save lives and things. You're taking that away from people that actually do need it.
Make note of that. Anna says that someone being concerned about the welfare of animals could have cost a human being their life. Way to take accountability there. And while I can't say for sure, unless the police department in your county is busy round the clock fighting Batman-level villains threatening to destroy City Hall, I'm sure there is always room to report a crime if you genuinely feel like one has been committed. Don't waste the time of the police over petty instances, of course, like, okay, you can't change that someone cut you off in traffic, sorry, nothing's gonna happen there. But in this case, you, Anna, openly admitted to committing a crime against an animal, or at least being a complicit party in one. I'd say that is a fairly understandable thing to contact the authorities over, even if it doesn't go anywhere. However, as we heard in the apology, while Anna obviously can't be arrested for anything, as their claims of wrongdoing are all word of mouth with no physical evidence, an officer in this case did allegedly pay her a visit to inform Miss Sin of her legal rights. The officer allegedly told Anna's father, who then told her, that everything she had said online was protected by the First Amendment, that being freedom of speech, and that nothing she had done was illegal.
It's a freedom of speech. There was nothing illegal. That's what my dad has told me, that the officer has told him.
Which, they are correct in these facts. However, I will say that I don't think Anna's thoughts about what they would do to an unalive deer was exactly what our founding fathers had in mind when the First Amendment was ratified. They may have reconsidered a few things if they could hear what you and I have unfortunately heard here today. With Anna's apology now concluded, we have yet another entry into the history books of worst apologies to ever surface online. But Anna wasn't done clearing her name just yet. And the next clip we're about to watch, a character witness who claimed to personally know Anna had come forward in her comment section to back her claims that everything was just one big failed joke, and she truly is just a misunderstood edgelord. This user, only known as Jessica, had some insightful words to share on the situation. This comment could seemingly cast doubt on anyone, myself included, that there was ever any merit to Anna's horrific claims to begin with. So let me know your thoughts down below, and let's take a look together at this clip that seemingly exonerates Anna.
Alright, so this is a woman I knew in real life. She used to work with me through services. Her name was Jessica. She used to drive me around, all that stuff. She knows me in real life. She thinks it's hilarious and funny, and she is right. People can't handle it, so turn on the jokes. I get it. But like, she knows me, and anybody in real life that knows me knows I don't like animals and don't like dogs. You know? Like, and she gets the joke or whatever. But yeah, basically, she understands the humor behind it, because she's like laughing LOL, you know, in the video. She finds it funny or whatever. But yeah, I'm glad that she could understand me, because she knew me personally in real life. But other people on the internet do not know me, the real me. And on the internet, I always amped it up for entertainment and fun. Yeah, so yeah, you just can't handle it.
A few things to note, so let's get right into it. Anna claims that this user, Jessica, was someone who used to drive them around through services, which I suppose could be tied back to the comment she had made about being unable to drive, and that she finds Anna's stories to be hilarious, stating that Jessica is correct in her assessment that TikTok simply can't handle her humor and jokes, reiterating that everyone in her personal life knows the real AnacondaSin and are aware that she doesn't even like animals.
She used to drive me around, all that stuff. She knows me in real life. She thinks it's hilarious and funny. And she is right. People can't handle it. She knows me, and anybody in real life that knows me knows I don't like animals and don't like dogs.
So let me get this straight. Your defense to claims of harming animals is that, well, actually, I don't even like animals in the first place. I never had any doubts on that for a second, Anna, based upon the wild things you say. I wouldn't exactly hear someone say, oh yeah, I used to nail rats to wood and think, oh wow, what an animal advocate. So to summarize, This user Jessica understands the comical wizardry that we mere fools can't begin to comprehend when it comes to Anna's sense of humor, and in the end, everything she has said was revealed to be simply an elaborate ruse, amplified for entertainment as she described. Might I remind you that this includes the initial apology, the racism, the detailed descriptions of twisted desires, the retelling of their participation in a crime against a helpless dog with a 45-year-old man, feeding her sister's pets to dogs out of curiosity, and doing deplorable, horrific things to rats. I suppose that would make you and I the odd ones out here, because, as she puts it best, Jessica finds it funny, and she gets the joke.
She understands the humor behind it because she's like laughing LOL.
If you can't tell already, I'm personally not buying this story, and I'm eager to explain why. Maybe you'll agree or disagree with my perspective on this all being one elaborate meme. But first, I have yet another clip that I'd like, I suppose that's a bit of a strong word here, rather I feel I need to show you, regarding Anna and her elaborate fake stories, as it will not only tie back around into my theories surrounding the authenticity of her claims, but it is just so baffling that I genuinely need someone else to watch this so I'm not stuck feeling insane. This particular clip in question, as I mentioned earlier, features Anna providing a descriptive recollection of events to the participants of a Discord voice call, where she explains her attraction towards her own father, as well as all the ways she has tried to seek reciprocation of those particular feelings. I strongly feel the need to provide a trigger warning beforehand for sexual assault and themes, as I feel this alleged story would most definitely fall within those parameters. Without further ado, buckle up because it's about to get so much worse, which I didn't even think was possible at this point.
My dad ever gets Alzheimer's, I'm gonna f the hell out of him.
Why don't you just do it now?
I saw a hot dude, and then I started trying to make out with my dad. It's really embarrassing when you touch your dad thinking he's somewhat of the man. Oh my god.
Whoa, super cool to see you here in the next chapter, fellow kids. You probably shouldn't be watching this if you're a kid. Before you and I can fully explore this chapter and the horrific content that we're about to watch, I need to take you back in time a bit to the year 2022. Almost a year and a half before our story had reached its conclusion. Before the dating show, the live stream confessions, the apology and retraction of said apology, a few morally misguided individuals were on a video call with Anna via Discord, where they were asking her personal questions alongside providing sick words of encouragement towards her alleged claims that she had been putting forth within the call. At some point, the conversation took a drastic turn for the worse when the topic of Anna's father was brought up. When this happened, Anna was quick to cheerfully describe how if her father was ever diagnosed with Alzheimer's later in his life, then it would be the perfect time to take advantage of him in a very disgusting way. Going as far as to say that in the past she had accidentally made advances towards her father due to her poor eyesight, an excuse we will later briefly explore as this was Anna's explanation for an alleged interaction involving minors. Yet how despite this, she still very much enjoyed the interaction she had with her father. The conversation only gets worse, as Anna then details a story where she claims to have, allegedly, performed a certain action involving herself out in the open where her father could, and later would, stumble upon her. This is met with words of encouragement and ill advice from those participating within the Discord call on how Anna could potentially have these one-sided feelings with her father become mutual. It's pretty fucked up stuff, and what makes it worse is that there's a section after the fact that I genuinely can't even attempt to show, as it would be impossible within the community guidelines of this platform. Trust me on this, there are some things that are better left unexplained. Before we watch this clip together, I do want to state that the uploader of this video, Cornelius, stated in their upload that they do not condone the actions of the individuals encouraging Anna, as he believes her to not be of sound mind, and that this was an instance of people taking advantage of someone with struggles for their own entertainment purposes. I am by no means a psychologist, so I will never attempt to diagnose someone here, but in my own personal opinion, I do align myself with this sentiment. I also need to state that due to the nature of this clip, there will have to unfortunately be aggravating censorship. Please forgive me on that. I know there's plenty of people who want to hear their naughty words, but it's just genuinely something out of my control. And another note, there were already edits made to this video when I found it, so if things seem a little scuffed due to the cutting up of this clip, that's why. But with that said, I have nothing witty to say here. It's pretty awful. So let's get right into the video.
No, if my dad gets Alzheimer's, that'll be the perfect time. If my dad ever gets Alzheimer's, I'm gonna f the hell out of him.
Why don't you just do it now?
No, I'll remember it.
You just have to break that awkward like thing. Just like go up and hug him.
Trust me, there's been a few times. No, trust me, there's been a few times where I've touched him thinking it was somebody else.
How does that
and then I didn't know it was him. Yeah, and then like he's like, "What the hell are you doing?" I was in the kitchen, in the dark, there's lights on. I grabbed him. He said, "What the hell are you doing?"
But Anna, who else would be in your house?
Well, exactly. Well, sometimes I have people that come to me from like Tinder that will come through like the garage, you know. And I saw a hot dude, and then I started trying to make out with my dad. But then he was wearing like a button-up shirt and all that. And then he was like, "What you doing?" And he said, "You expecting someone?" And I said, nothing." And I realized who it was. And I got embarrassed, and I stuck my face in the fridge, all burning up, hot, sweaty. And then it's really embarrassing when you touch your dad thinking he's somewhat of the man. It's really embarrassing when you're blind, like I am, and you go to touch your father thinking he's somebody else. Oh my god. And then I had gotten naked and I sat on my bed. I started to myself and all that.
How old are you?
My dad's like 27.
Oh.
And my dad's like, "What are you doing? What the hell are you doing?" I said, "Oh, nothing." And then my dad looked at me like this.
But so like this was a couple months ago.
No, this is recent.
How recent?
He said, and then a couple weeks ago. And then he's like, "Don't do that." And I was like, "Why not?" And then he was like, "Just don't do that." And I was like, "Okay."
You're like,
but then,
"Make me."
Yeah, no, I didn't say that. I should say that next time. Wait, you think I should say that to my dad next time? Make me?
Yeah, that might make him really.
Make him me if I say that?
Oh yeah.
Make me? Wait, you think he'd me if I said that to him?
He might.
Dude, come on. I'm his dog.
That's illegal.
Oh, hey, you're still here. Sorry, I thought you might be in therapy. Wouldn't blame you with how rough that clip was. I just spit all over my camera. Welcome back. I can't lie, that was pretty god-awful to get through. But we have some notes to go over, so get through we must. As you and I saw, this clip begins with, as mentioned prior, Anna without context stating how if her father developed Alzheimer's, then she wouldn't hesitate to commit a highly illegal act against him, most likely due to his inability to consent. Does that sound familiar to anyone? Confused as to why Anna wouldn't just commit these actions against her father now, the user in the call asks Anna exactly that, to which she says she can't because her father would be able to remember it. The same user then says that Anna has to break the awkward distance between her and her father, and that she could begin the process of love by going up to her father and giving him a hug. Anna pauses, blows out a fat cloud of demonetized content, and responds to this user's suggestion by saying to trust her, that there have been a few times where she has grabbed her father in such a way, not knowing it was him. When reasonably asked how one could make such a mistake, Anna reasoned that the lights were off and that she sometimes has people from the dating app Tinder come through the garage, so this was merely just one big understanding. That didn't stop once she realized her alleged Tinder date was actually her father. Anna then says that the experience was so spicy, claiming that she had attempted to make out with him amidst the confusion. Then, once she realized who she was with, she got embarrassed and stuck her head in the fridge, citing how it was humiliating to accidentally do this to your father, only to recognize after the fact who he is, before letting out a questionable sound that, when asked if this was a sound of excitement, she agrees.
Saw a hot dude, and then I started trying to make out with my dad. Oh my god. And,
is that a moan?
Yeah.
It's your own dad. What doesn't make sense to me though is that if this story was true, did Anna clarify if she was expecting a date that night or not? And if not, who else could she have been expecting in her home that night? Ana uses her poor eyesight as an excuse frequently, because as I have found out, she is, to my understanding, legally blind, but in my opinion that doesn't work here, because how did she not recognize her own father's voice when he casually asked, "What the hell are you doing?"
Like, he's like, what the hell are you doing? I was in the kitchen.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but that doesn't add up at all. In what was our second half of this clip, Ana talks about how in one instance, she performed a certain action towards herself in the open, where her father was unfortunately able to walk in on her doing so. She states how, despite having been caught in this embarrassing predicament, she continued to do what she was doing while her father questioned her about what she was doing. After lying and saying that she was doing nothing, her father told her to not do this specific action further, to which Ana asked him why. Only for her father, who was most likely regretting all of his life choices in that moment, to reiterate to her to not do what she was doing. Forgive me on those annoying innuendos there. Instead of being disgusted by this story, the users in the Discord call actually encouraged Ana on how she could better approach the situation for the next time when this happens, by providing advice such as telling her father to make her stop, in a bid to possibly make her dad feel receptive towards her in that way. Ana, intrigued by this suggestion, asks, "Do you think that would make him really excited if I say that?" Pausing in contemplation before further asking, "Wait, you think he'd f me if I said that to him?" To which the call supportively tells her yes, that there is a possibility of this happening. Which, I shouldn't even have to explain, is an extremely screwed up thing to try to encourage another human being to do to their own father.
You think I should say that to my dad next time? Make me?
Yeah, that might make him really.
Wait, you think he'd me if I said that to him?
You might.
This clip goes on to tread into completely unviewable territory as Ana, whether through the encouragement of the callers or through her own volition, begins to, on call for all to see, recreate exactly what her father walked in on her doing, followed by a, not so wholesome taste test. Please, for the love of God, do not make me elaborate further, as I'm sure we all unfortunately have imaginations, and with a prior context, understand what I'm implying here. It is disgusting, and truthfully everything about this call was. From what Ana had described allegedly doing to her father and what she had put him through, to the participants who were, in my belief, taking advantage of Ana as a means to garner some form of entertainment out of her. It was a pretty bad situation for all parties involved. But the one question I have, and it's a very important one for us to dive further into, is despite how shocking Ana's claims have been, not just from this call, but from everything we have discussed in this video, what is the plausibility that everything she has said is actually true? It seems we only have anecdotal evidence, so what do we even make of this? Is the infamous AnacondaSin truly the Jeffrey Dahmer of animals while seeking out romantic affection from her own father? Was this all a big elaborate ploy to get a rise out of anyone who would listen? A misunderstanding of humor, as she put it in her apology? Or was this all just simply one big lie? I'm sure you have your own thoughts, which I would love to hear down below in the comments, but if I am to place my own thoughts as to what exactly is going on here, then I personally say, yes, that I believe both possibilities to be true simultaneously. I believe that the details of Ana's life have been amped up for shock value, and in a pursuit for attention, she has most likely been dishonest in quite a few ways. However, I also believe that there is validity to some of her claims, which therefore blurs the lines of fact versus fiction. But this doesn't mean that we are at a loss as to what could be just an elaborate hoax and what could have quite possibly been Ana telling the truth. In order to understand this better, we are going to have to point out discrepancies that don't align with Ana's hoax claim, as well as point out further allegations that have surfaced around her, including a highly suspicious alleged encounter involving 2 minors, followed by the advocation of predators, because as she puts it, they are some of the kindest people that society has to offer.
They don't hold nobody. Besides have special, like they have a relationship, they have special relationships with children. Some of them are actually really good people.
Without further ado, let's you and I together dive even further into the abyss of Ana's nightmarish story.
To be attracted to an individual or a certain type of group that you know is like not 18, that doesn't make me a bad person, does it?
Welcome back. Let's continue. Before you and I get into the nitty-gritty of what we're about to discuss, I want to say that there will be a lot of information in this section, so I will not be exploring in depth every single additional claim here. Rather, I will be providing forth the allegations and allow you to come to your own thoughts and opinions. In order to separate fact from fiction, we should start with Anna's first claim that she made on the TikTok live dating show, where she had stated she was the participant of an alleged crime against a scared dog in a situation where this said dog could not consent.
It's like my ex-boyfriend who was 45 and wanted me to have with his dog, but I didn't do it. He did it with his dog. I never did it with the dog. No, I never did it because the dog was scared of me and did not want to do it.
If you recall, Anna claimed in her apology video that what she said online had been for entertainment purposes only, particularly making note of what she said during the live show, which, to give her the benefit of the doubt, I will say we are unsure of which live stream in particular she is referencing here. Well, what I found peculiar, as I had mentioned earlier on in the prior chapters, was that if Anna had truly set out to be edgy in order to cause the most shock value, why was she seemingly defensive and quick to clarify the extent of her involvement regarding her ex-boyfriend and a dog? And if you recall this as well, Anna also expressed concern that they had scared off Sparkle, the other dating show contestant, and feared that she was being seen as weird after she discussed her fantasy involving deer.
Now she thinks I'm a freak, and now she thinks I'm weird, and now she thinks...
But again, why care in this situation if your goal is to get a rise out of others? I thought this stood out because it seemed rather counterproductive from their alleged reasoning for making such vile claims in the first place. Wanting to know more, I dug a little deeper on these claims, and what I found was a link on Reddit to the infamous website known as Kiwi Farms, where a group of users had taken the time to meticulously document everything surrounding Anna and her life. As a disclaimer, I will say I'm unsure in particular who it was who provided the doxable information to the website, whether it be those who made the thread or a third party, but I will firmly state here that I do not condone the doxing of individuals by any means. When scrolling through this biblical-like documentation of who AnacondaSin really was, I came across an excerpt from an alleged Q&A, where Anna was asked about this particular instance involving the dog and her ex-boyfriend. And her alleged answer is rather contradicting if this is proven to be exactly what she said. Due to the lack of specifications as to where this interview originated from, I encourage you to take what you're about to hear with a grain of salt, as it is the responsible thing to do. However, I will state beforehand that despite the lack of sources here, the entire Kiwi Farms page that I read has been documented rather in depth, with information that seems to be, from my eye at least, fairly credible, if not outright irrefutable. Again though, take that as you will. As shown on screen, the question to Anna from the interviewer reads as the following: "Why did you say you wanted to have with animals?" The alleged response from Anna was not quoted, rather described, and it reads as the following. Anna claims that her having with animals was just a joke. The man she dated, mentioned in the infamous dating show video, forced her to have with his dog. Anna claims she got pushed up a wall, and the dog attacked her boyfriend for attacking Anna. Again, taking this information with a grain of salt, if this was found to provably be Anna's answer to this question in particular, then that would mean what she had said about what happened to the dog was not a joke for shock value.
On the internet, I always amped it up for entertainment and fun.
And what is even more concerning is that the initial story has been altered from what Anna had stated previously on the dating show. Her initial claim was that the dog was scared and that she didn't want to, nor did she participate in this alleged crime. To which she was confronted about how truthful she was being towards her involvement, leading her to then laugh and smile, before remarking that every dog has a unique size and that it doesn't count if your eyes are closed.
It doesn't count if your eyes are closed.
And when we look at the exact wording in the alleged Q&A, Anna allegedly claimed that she had been with the dog, but it was against her will. The exact truth of this is unknown. But do note that despite conflicting accounts of what really took place between Anna, her ex, and the scared dog, there is no denial here that this crime had taken place. That's a little bit strange, is it not? Anna isn't saying here that this situation was a part of her elaborate comedy routine that we all fell for. In fact, and this viewpoint can be argued, she's allegedly verifying the claim instead. This puts you and I in a bit of a predicament of understanding the limits as to just how far Anna's willing to go as a person. If her shock value humor is on par with actual shock value actions she's committed, allegedly, then who's to say we can take her word for everything else merely being fiction? Anna is neither simply an elaborate troll, but she's also not completely honest either. I find the best way to view this as a bit of a boy who cried wolf scenario, and it leaves us with so many questions. Does that mean she really did feed her sister's guinea pigs to her dog to see what it looked like? Did she really do those terrible things to helpless rats when she was just 7 years old? Had she really tried to make advances towards her own father? And if so, was it all just a convenient misunderstanding, followed by a very disturbing action that she committed out in the open for her father to stumble across? There is just genuinely no way of knowing at this point. Another instance that I find highly alarming during this alleged interview is when Anna was asked a question regarding an incident where she claims to have allegedly been assaulted by 2 minors who had lied about their age on the app Tinder, attributing her inability to recognize their age in person due to her poor eyesight. Once more, it is alleged that Anna is legally blind, but take that as you will. This alleged conversation from the interview reads as the following. Did you have with any minors? Did they trick you into sleeping with them? The alleged response was described as, Anna was 18 on Tinder. She claims she was catfished by a 13-year-old and a 15-year-old boy. Anna claims they took advantage of her mental health and poor eyesight to have with her. Anna denies any relations with said minors. Anna claims she told the minors' parents and left. The following question from the alleged interviewer reads as, have you talked to minors? Anna's described response is allegedly. Anna denies all claims of being a predator, despite advocating for it in the past. Anna says her sister always told her to not do stuff like that. Anna thinks it's wrong to talk to children. This is no doubt a horrific story if true, and if Anna had been so blind and truly unable to comprehend what was going on, that would no doubt be an extremely tragic situation. However, the last question that was allegedly given to Anna caused a bit of conflict in what I am to believe here. Anna allegedly states that she was unaware of these minors' ages, yet goes on to say that while they themselves are not a predator, she has in the past advocated for predators. But then she backtracks and says that they believe speaking to children is wrong, which is incredibly contradictive. And when browsing the Kiwi Farms forum, there is in fact video evidence of Anna not only advocating for predators, but there is also a clip of Anna questioning if she herself is a predator that simply has not acted on her actions.
To be attracted to an individual or a certain type of group that you know is like not 18, that doesn't make me a bad person, does it?
Just people you'll ever meet. They don't hold nobody. Besides have special, like they have a relationship, they have special relationships with children, but they're not physically holding them. They're not causing them physical harm. Some of them do, but not all of them do that. Some of them are actually really good people.
I don't want to diminish something that can be so incredibly sensitive by stating I have my doubts, but to advocate for these sick individuals of society, that being predators, going as far as to say that they are some of the kindest people you will ever meet and that they do not harm children, alongside questioning if you yourself are one of these deplorable people, but just haven't acted on your urges, only to turn around and claim that you had accidentally been taken advantage of by 2 minors, it makes me feel like her claims are rather suspicious, if not worthy of scrutinizing a little further. Which, due to Anna's compulsive streak of lying for attention, it's quite possibly the best way to summarize the entirety of Anna's online presence. Suspicious and worth looking at further. We have admissions, confessions, stories that line up but then change details, stories that are amped up for shock value yet have a very real potential of actually being based in reality. Anna has successfully muddied the waters surrounding her true identity, leaving us with a reality that we may never fully be able to remove the mask and see what monster truly lies within. A mystery, with just enough evidence to bridge the gap of fleeting internet rumors to questionable conspiracy. However, I'll leave everything we've discussed here today as a sort of rotten food for thought. Do you believe Anna? Is this all one elaborate hoax? Or do you, like myself, find that the truth has been blurred between the never-ending slew of lies? Whatever you believe, I'll leave that for you to decide down below. But now on to the whereabouts. As of July of 2024, when writing this video, AnacondaSin has either removed or had her TikTok account terminated for God only knows what reason. Over the last several months, her online whereabouts have gone quiet and will hopefully remain that way. But given her track record of desiring attention from others in the worst possible ways, I do see a return possible in the future, if not unfortunately inevitable. Wherever she may be, let's hope that it is a very long time before AnacondaSin makes her return to the internet, because as I'm sure, many of us appreciate having a consistent appetite in our lives. But until that day, all we can really do is appreciate the time you and I have during this grace period, and prepare for whatever honest story is yet to bring. God help us all. Hey, oh my god, you're still here. That's amazing. Let me get that tax write-off out of the way. If you're still watching, I want to take a moment to say thank you for watching the video all the way through to the end. You being here and getting through to the end really does help me and this channel out a lot. And I feel so bad because all I have to offer in return is you now having nightmares over the next few weeks given what we discussed here today. However, I hope it was entertaining nonetheless. If you enjoyed today's video, it would really be appreciated if you consider dropping a like, a comment sharing your thoughts, as well as subscribing with the bell notification on, as it helps me grow as a channel and quite frankly just feels really cool and supportive. Thanks for that in advance if you do decide to stick around. If you'd like to follow me on other platforms after the video to help further boost my ego, feel free to follow the links in the description to my Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch, as they are all good ways to reach out and connect if you're feeling like you want to just say hey, or to send me weird cat photos like this one. If you'd like to further help me in what I do here on the channel, feel free to check out my Patreon, which can be found down below in the description, or becoming a channel member. It's a super helpful way to support the channel in between uploads, as these do take quite a bit of time to make, but by no means is this a requirement. For those that are patrons or members, there will be a dedicated section to those lovely individuals here in just a moment. Well, I must say, it has been quite a journey. We laughed, we cried, we probably cried a little bit more, then just disconnected ourselves from the entire situation, but hey, we did it! You and I together. Once more, my name is Wonder, and it was super cool to have you here today. You go take it easy. I've got some more deep dives to go make for you, and my back is killing me as I'm sitting on a skateboard and I'm holding my microphone by the hand. So until next time, be safe, you take care, and farewell. I'll see you soon. If you're still here, I'd like to take a moment to express my gratitude to my kind-hearted supporters over on Patreon. I truly am forever grateful for your generosity. I know times are rather tough for a lot of people right now, so for you to support me in such a way with everything going on in the lives of your own, I really can't find proper words other than thank you, and I hope you enjoy the future content that you've helped provide. I'd also like to give another warm thank you to the high-tier community members such as J. Jackson Hall, Alien Ace Cat, Goth Barbie 3000, Amanda Barnett, Balloony, and an extra special thank you to Alice Beth and Bacon Pierogi for their highest tier subscription support. You all have my expressive gratitude. Thank you, be well, stay safe, and good night. Woo! You're still here at the very last second of the video. What are you doing?